This is the 2026 Ford Expedition Max Platinum. Is it the ultimate full-size SUV? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We're at All-Star Ford in Stonewall, Louisiana for today's video. If you want to know more, check out the link down in the description of the video. I know it's a little dirty. We're dealing with pollen season. It just goes with the territory, but we'll do the best we can to show you everything, including the LED exterior lighting. All of your lighting is LED. You're going to have the LED headlights, LED daytime running lights. You can see the LED lighting element that runs pretty much all the way across the front end on the lower portion of the grille. A little bit of a break in these little sections here on each side. And then we're going to have our Expedition logo right here. Everything is blacked out, so if you like that, this is definitely something you should consider. Our Ford logo here right underneath that. The front view camera will be here. There's cameras all around. You can see everywhere you need to, no matter what the situation is. And this model will be four-wheel drive. We're going to work our way around here and take a look at the 22-inch wheels. Now, for those who don't like a gloss black wheel, what do you think about this finish with the gray? A little something different, but I think it works. That way it's not too much black. Some people might like that. Everything will be body color here. So we're going to have the body color with the fender surround right here. You don't really have any special elements right here, anything like that. So that's going to work perfectly right there to match everything together. We're not going to have power assist steps, but for some people that may not be a big deal. You will have the affixed in place assist steps that will be here to use when needed. And then as we work our way up here, we're going to have the power adjustable side view mirrors with turn signal indicators built in. They're going to be heated, power folding, power adjustable, and you will also have your blind spot monitoring built in, which is going to be on this side. We'll show you that real quick just so you can see it. And as we work our way back, here is your remote. You're going to have lock, unlock. You can open and close your power tailgate. All that good stuff is going to be here. Panic button is here. You're also going to have remote start. Pretty easy to figure out how that works. And then there's a button on the remote right here on the key fob. And what's going to happen, let me see if I can do this. Pull this out. It's a little hard to do. There we go. There is the mechanical key. And if you're wondering, what is the mechanical key? If the battery dies in the key fob or in the vehicle itself, we open this up right here and there you go. There's where you're going to insert that. You can lock and unlock this door and you'll be good to go with that. Nice to know that that's here. We're going to have a nice large windows. This is very easy to see out of. It's perfect. Roof rails will be up top. If you need the crossbars, you can get those. Help yourself out with that additional cargo space. Not that there isn't enough here already. We also had the panoramic sunroof up there. And we'll work our way around. We're going to have our LED taillights and all the different lighting elements back here that are going to be LED. Again, that blacked out Expedition logo. And you do have a rear window wiper. It's just neatly concealed away inside of this rear roof spoiler. One thing that is not here that may surprise some people is the absence of any kind of tailpipes or exposed exhaust. You can see the tailpipe if you get down here low enough coming off of the muffler, but I know a lot of people like to have something actually coming out like this. Tell me how important that is to you in the comments section. Under the hood is the 3.5 liter EcoBoost V6. It makes 380 horsepower, 470 pounds-feet of torque. 0 to 60 will be in about 6.5 seconds. Top speed is governed to 115 miles per hour. Let me say that slowly so it doesn't sound like 150. And it's all mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now, you do have a very large SUV here, so let's take a look. And you may not be able to see it, so I'm just going to tell you these numbers on your MPGs. We're looking at 15 city, 22 highway, 18 combined, 5.6 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And on the tail end of those MPGs, which are estimated, by the way, you're not guaranteed to hit those numbers. You might be above, you might be below, it might fluctuate some. How about your gas tank details? You don't get that in a lot of these videos. It's 27.8 gallons in capacity. Out on the highway, you should be able to drive on a full tank of gas about 612 miles, about 445 miles in the city. Your max towing capacity comes in at 9,000 pounds. pounds, a very respectable number. Now you'll have a split tailgate here, and if you're wondering what is a split tailgate, well, we're going to have this upper section that opens, and we can come right here and open this lower section, hence the terminology split tailgate. Now how about your cargo space? Behind the third row, we're looking at 36 cubic feet. If you lower that third row down, you're looking at 79.6 cubic feet. If you lower the middle row down, it's 121.5 cubic feet. Now here are the controls that you use to lower the rear seats. You can lower and raise. You can actually hit the button right here to lower everything at one time as far as the rear seats go. And then this button bank right here in the front is going to be for the middle seats. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to hit the button right here and lower those middle seats down first. You'll notice that they go at one time because I hit that middle button. Now we're going to lower these rear seats. Now the difference is that you have to manually put the middle row seats back in place. You have to fold them back up. You have the power option here with these rear seats to bring them back up. And unlike competitors with Suburbans, GMC Yukons, the Tahoes, all of that, here is a difference. With those, you have to hold the buttons down, and when you take your finger off, the seats stop moving up. And I'm just going to do this. Push that button one time and notice the seats are now coming up. I'm not holding anything down. So just a nice little added advantage and added benefit that you have here compared to one of the competitors. Now, over there on the other side, we're going to have a 120 volt power outlet if you'd like to take advantage of that. And underneath the rear of the vehicle, I'm not going to make my cameraman get down there and show you, but there is a spare tire. Let's talk about what your second and third row passengers are going to find. First of all, we've got the shade drawn back so you can see the nice large panoramic sunroof. That front portion will open, and this is your power shade that can be drawn back and forth depending on what you need to do with that. As far as the door panel goes, I'll let you see the door panel over there on the passenger side. A nice large comfortable armrest, nice padding built in. I like that, plenty of space. We're going to have the large door bin beneath that area. And you'll notice that area right there in the center, how it's kind of got that cutout between the speaker and that next area of the door panel itself. That's so that you can put a taller bottle in there and it's going to fit just fine. So basically unlimited size where that's concerned. Now, depending on how things go with who's sitting here in the second row, if you need additional leg space for your third row passengers, guess what? You've got quite an option for that. Now, I don't expect anyone to sit this far forward. I don't know, maybe a child or something if they happen to be sitting here, but you can move these seats back and forth quite a bit depending on what you need to do. And on top of the seat is a button. We're going to push that button. I say we're going to. It didn't work the first time. There we go. Get that up and out of the way. Now I can hop into the third row. We're going to pull this seat back. It's not going to come as far back as it would. It would normally come to about right here in this area, but you can see how much leg space there potentially could be back here. And something that I really like that is very different from, again, those GMC and Chevrolet SUVs, the full-size models, you have a much larger, wider pass-through right here. That is a nice advantage. I think that works quite well. Now, we're going to have seating for 3 people back here. We're going to have the roof-mounted air conditioning vents. You know, I like that more than anything that would be down lower. And we'll take a look over here. We're going to have a little bit of storage right here, the cup holder, and then we're also going to have the buttons right here. And what does that do? Notice those buttons right there above the cup holder? That allows me to recline these seats. So that's going to be nice and useful. And last but not least, we're going to have USB connectivity, as you can see. Now, the advantage here, as you would imagine, nothing out of the ordinary. You're going to have the identical controls on both sides. And if somebody doesn't want to use that nice wide pass-through right there to get out, they can push this button once again on the top of the seat and then go right out. First thing I noticed when I hopped into the second row, if you've watched my other videos on the Yukons and the Suburbans and all of that, one thing I always talk about is that GMC and Chevrolet, Cadillac all need to set things up to where the armrest is as tall as the seat itself. And this one's actually a little bit taller. Why do I say that? Because with their armrests, my arm is about like this. But here, it actually fits. That's perfect. It could stand to be a tick longer, but you know what? It depends on the person's length of their arms. But in this case, it definitely works for me. I can be very comfortable with that. So we're going to have that with our captain's chairs right here. And we're going to have a couple of cup holders on the back of the center console, and then our command center right here for the third zone of climate control. You're going to adjust fan speed, temperature. You can turn the heated seats on and off. You can see all of that right there. And then below, we're going to have more connectivity options depending on what your passengers need. The sticker price is $81,020. That's right. So if you need that 20 cents, you need to get over the hump to buy this Expedition. Let me know. I promise I'll loan you the 20 cents. Let's see what else you get for that sticker price. With the upper console, we're going to have our sunglass holder. That's going to come in nice and handy. And then the controls right here for the sunroof and the power shade for the sunroof. All of that will be here. We can come right here and hit the buttons to turn on our lights. And then we'll have our rear view mirror right here. Nothing major to talk about there. But as we work our way down, you can see all of the different trim work here across the dash area. The Expedition name is going to be here. We work our way over. I'm going to let my cameraman open the glove box for you just to show you what's there. There is a little bit of storage space in there. On the passenger side door panel, again, that nice, large, comfortable armrest. The handle to open the door is a little different. It's not what you might expect where you'd reach up a little bit higher and pull on it. It's actually down there. You're looking at it right now. You just pull it towards you. That's pretty easy to deal with. And again, the nice large door bins are going to be here too. Now, let's work our way over here to the driver's side. We're going to have everything over here for our one touch down and one touch up windows at all four doors. You can determine which mirror you are adjusting right there. We can hit the button right here, and guess what? There's that power folding functionality taking place one more time, and we have our lock and unlock buttons. All of that will be here. And let me show you your drive mode selector, which is right down here. Depending on what drive mode you need, you can come up here and see that on the dashboard area. You've got normal, tow haul mode. The eco is going to be here, sport mode. Then we have slippery and off-road. Just so you know where that is, where that's located, try and give you a better look at what all is down here. Kind of a hard view to give, but there it is. Now your steering wheel is tilt and telescopically adjustable. However, you don't actually use a lever or any special release for that. You're actually going to push the button right here, and then you can see right up here on the screen where it tells you how to adjust that. So we can hold this button to lower it if we need to. Lower that and then bring it back up. Now you're going to want to make sure that you're actually on the arrow because it can be over here. So make sure you're on that, then it's going to work. And we go down and we can adjust it telescopically with the arrows on the sides right there, just so you can kind of know what's going on there. And to get out of that screen, we just scroll on over here, hit that button, and there we go. So the steering wheel controls are a little bit on the interesting side. Depending on what you need to do, you're using it as almost like a trackpad. There's everything for cruise control. That's going to be there. You can hit that button right here to bring all of that up. It's all here. And a very interesting shape for the steering wheel. It's a little bit different. Takes a little getting used to, but there it is. Over here, we're going to have everything for our front and rear window wipers and those turn signal indicators. And here's something that makes you hopefully encouraged to use your turn signals. Now that effect you see on the screen is not really happening. That's just through the lens of my camera, but it ultimately gives you the view of your blind spot right there if you use your turn signals. Nothing to talk about over here on the right side of the steering wheel because the shifter is right down here. So it is a dial shifter. So depending on what you need to do, reverse, neutral, drive, you can go into manual right there if you want to. Now you'll have to tell me what you think about this. When you go into manual mode, here is where you gear up and gear down. Now that can help with towing and slippery conditions and things like that, but it is very interesting. And tell me what your thoughts are about this driver's display. It is very different from anything you're going to see anywhere else, that's for sure. Now let's talk about our center screen. Now, a lot of the controls are going to be in the center screen, such as the air conditioning. If you need to adjust your seats, you've got your heated and your cooled seats here. We can do all of that. But you can use voice commands here if you need to. So it's nice to know that you don't have to reach over here and physically touch the screen while you're driving or anything like that. And you can see what's on the screen as far as what we're listening to. We can make choices where that is concerned. We can also come right here. We're going to go to vehicle. Depending on what you need to do right here, there's a few different things you can set up. Now here's your driver's seat memory. This is where you're going to come to set that. If you need to, we can come back out of that right here. And then lighting is also going to be here, so you can set everything up with that or just leave it on auto and you don't have to worry about anything. So there's exterior. You also have your interior lighting. You do have ambient lighting here. Probably not gonna be able to show it to you because I don't have a dark enough place to go to do that today, but that is going to be here. Seems like the blue shows up the best. Don't know that you can see it anywhere, but we can also increase and decrease the brightness depending on what we need to do with that. Also your zones, depending on what you want to do right there, you can adjust things where that is concerned. Now if you're looking for all of your different icons, we just select right there on the screen. That's going to bring that up. You can wirelessly pair your smartphone. You're going to have Google Maps and all of that good stuff is going to be here. Google Assistant, where you can say, hey, you know who. That's going to help you out to control a lot of functionality here. You do have your Sirius XM and all of your different options for the radio here. And as you can see, there's Apple CarPlay. You've got towing right here. If you want to go in and work with that, you can do that. We can come back out of there. And guess what? You can even watch YouTube on here. So you can watch my videos, not while you're driving down the road, at least not for the driver. So don't do that. But we have all of our different options here. Depending on what we need to do, we can take advantage of that. And I'm just going to push that just to see what comes up. I don't know that we can show you too much, but just so you can see that it's here. Now, we're going to work our way back to home right here. And down here, a few more things to talk about below the screen. Number one, here's the control for your radio to turn that on and off and adjust the volume. You've got everything to turn the auto stop start off, all of your different things such as your park assist will be here, traction control, all of that. And right here, I'm going to push this and we'll go back to the screen and you'll see what comes up. There are our different camera views. Depending on what you need to see, you can come right here. So we have a couple of different angles. We can X out of that to come back to this screen. We can obviously come right here and go to our side view mirror views, depending on what you need to see and where you need to see. You'll also have the rear view camera as well, if you want to see that. And that's not all that we have right here. You can also come back. Let me get back in there. We can come right over here and select right there and see several different angles once again. Depending on where we need to see, we can just select that area of the screen. It's going to let us see it. Tell me what you think about this. Is it too much? Does it work for you? What are your thoughts where that is concerned? And then we work our way down. You're going to have your cup holders right here. Nothing out of the ordinary. Right here, we're going to have our Pro trailering right here. Going to help you out with maneuvering your trailer if you need it. A little bit of storage space in this area. We're going to have a couple of USB options where that is concerned. And then we'll close that up. Here is our center console. Now the buttons right here, if you're wondering, what is that? Just like with the GMC Yukons, you can move it back. I like this a little bit better because it's not on the upper console up there. You're gonna have a little bit of extra storage space here in this front area. You're gonna have your pad right here, a little storage room where that is concerned. And then when you're ready to, you can just move that back just like that if you want to, and you're good to go with all of that. We can come right here and open our center console. I'm gonna have that nice large area in there with a 12-volt power outlet, by the way, something that you don't find in all GM vehicles these days. But there that is. That can move back and forth. Quite a bit of space within the interior for different items of different size when it comes to storage. All right, here we go on our test drive with the Expedition. We're gonna get on down the road here. It gets up to speed nicely. I'm not really pushing too hard, but getting on down the road. And we're there, about quarter throttle. Don't want to push it too hard because one of you may be coming in to buy this Expedition, so we don't want to push it harder than it should be without being broken in. But the acceleration does seem to be more than acceptable, I would say. Now, this is not the high output version, so if you need a little more horsepower and torque, well, obviously that's going to be available. The ride quality seems to be pretty good, at least here in the front seat, and I can tell these seats are nice and comfortable. Would be great for a nice long road trip. That's not going to be a problem whatsoever. Tons of room in all 3 rows. The driver's seat and the steering wheel, nice and adjustable, so that's going to be beneficial for the driver. No matter your height, you'll be able to set things up where you're nice and comfortable and it's easy to see. Everything is good. And you've got a lot of sensors around the vehicle with all of your great safety features that you expect to find. Lane keeping assist and all that kind of stuff is going to be here. One thing you might have noticed is not here is a wireless charging pad. As of 2026, that's something you're not going to find in these Expeditions. Kind of an interesting little delete, we'll say. What do you think about that? That's not something that I've seen in any vehicle up to this point. Any manufacturer saying we're going to get rid of the wireless charging pad, but hopefully Ford had the right data to say that was the right decision to make. But that's the situation. But a lot of interesting little features that are now in the center screen are going to be there. But like I said earlier in the video, very easy to deal with a lot of this, because you're going to have the voice commands such as Google Assistant that you can use to help out with things such as the air conditioning and different functions like that. You can adjust the temperature, you can adjust the fan speed. There's quite a bit going on where that is concerned. Overall, I have to say, I really like what Ford has done here over the years with the different changes that have been made. I'm just curious to know what your thoughts are, because as the consumer, you're the ones who are ultimately going to be buying these vehicles. And there it is, the 2026 Ford Expedition Max Platinum. Is it the ultimate full-size SUV? Tell me what you think down in the comments section. I'm always curious to receive your feedback. I would like to say a special thanks to our friends here at All-Star Ford for loaning us this Expedition for the day so we could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. That's very helpful to us and we appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.